Hello, this is President Barack Obama, here to tell you about one of the greatest books that you will ever be reading. It's called 10th of December by George Saunders. And if you enjoyed anything by Raymond Carver, then boy, this is really just the book for you. Just kidding, it's me. And here I am with 10th of December by George Saunders. Well, for the purposes of this book talk, I need to give you some information about the background, what it's all about. It's a collection of short stories, each of which I find extremely entertaining and well written. There's Victory Lap, which is a story about a young boy who thwarts an abduction. There's Styx, which is a short poem more like than a short story, kind of interesting and strange. There's Puppy, which tells the story of an adoption of a dog by a higher class family, which is being held by a lower class family, if that makes sense. And it goes back and forth between the perspectives of the two characters that inhabit both of those what's the word I'm looking for? Both of those spheres? I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. There's also Escape from Spiderhead, which is a pseudo-futuristic thing that involves a guy that is, I guess he's kind of testing materials for some kind of corporation as part of some kind of probation or jail time. It's not really clear what's going on, but the use of perspective again in that is very interesting, as the different things that he's testing, they're like pharmaceuticals, as they affect his brain, and it affects the way that the information is presented to you, which sounds really silly, but it's done in a very interesting way. There's also a couple more. I guess it's not really relevant for me to go over everything. Of a special importance, I think, is the Simplica Girl Diaries, which is a story about conspicuous consumption, kind of. It's written in a way that suggests it's some kind of journal being kept by the main character, and it details his jealousy of his what's the word? Betters in society, and the way that they flaunt their wealth, which prompts him to invest in a living lawn ornament, is how I would describe it. It's very interesting, and it's also good for sparking some kind of conversation about the ways that we, as Americans, exploit people from different cultures and our reasoning for doing so. What else should I tell you? Why would adolescents like this book? I think the stories are very interesting. They are at times shocking, and they're also very loaded. There's a lot going on, which I think is something that happens a lot with short stories. There's a lot of layers to pick apart, but they're still entertaining, even at a surface level. The text is also very easy to read, but the challenge comes more from reading between the lines, if that makes sense. As for how you could use this in a classroom, in regards to the short story Puppy, which I described earlier, you might have students read the story, then have them write a hypothetical scenario from each of the different parties. One of the themes of that story is a lack of communication between the two parties and how it hinders, the whole thing. It just goes up in flames. So for the purposes of this assignment, you could have them read the story, and then imagine this hypothetical scenario where each of them communicates with each other rather effectively, and then imagine what might have happened as a result of that, if anything, if their different cultural contexts would have just completely, kept them from cooperating, and their emotional baggage, or whether it could have been an effective, encounter. Some other ideas. If we had them read the Simplica Girl Diaries, which I also described, you could have students design an advertisement extolling the benefits of purchasing a group of these Simplica girls, these living lawn ornaments, to get them thinking about conspicuous consumption and the reasoning behind it, the reason why people do it. Think about the ways that advertising affects us, makes us buy things that really serve no purpose whatsoever. Maybe you could also have them write a diary in the same way that the story is laid out, but maybe do it from the perspective of one of the Simplica girls in the story. It's just an idea. There's a lot you could do with these. It's kind of hard to pick apart something that would make for an interesting assignment. I think the best way to tackle this, though, would be to do some kind of Socratic circle and just hash out some ideas. But as far as like interesting, assignments, that's kind of something I had in mind. As for some choice quotes, let me just give you an example of the way that the Simplica Girl Diaries reads. It's almost like shorthand. As for Thomas and Lily, they think it is a big joke to trick own parents. I remember how Thomas stepped to window, acted all surprised, SG's gone. Thomas equals stinker. As for Lily, we do so much for Lily's B-Day. This is thanks we get. Am hot under collar. Inadvertently say all of above out loud. Kids stunned. Kids have never seen me so mad. Thomas. Daddy, we didn't know. Lily. We honestly didn't. Thomas, pulling at own hair, runs outside. Lily bursts into tears, stomps out of room, dragging, stunned, Eva by hand. Eva, crestfallen, to me. But you said that thing about being brave. Note to future generations. Sometimes, in our time, families get into dark place. Family feels we are losers. Everything we do is wrong. Parents fight at high volume, blaming one another for disastrous situation. Dad kicks wall, puts hole in wall near fridge. Family skips lunch. Tension too high for all to sit at same table. This unbearable. This makes person, father, doubt value of whole enterprise, i.e., makes father, me, wonder if humans would not be better off living alone, individually, in woods, minding own beeswax, not loving anyone. Today like that for us. The whole thing goes on and on. It's very interesting. I don't really want to spoil the plot. I really recommend that you guys pick up a copy of this book. It's just so good. One of the best short story collections I've ever read. I know I'm getting up here in time, but I'd like to read you a selection really quickly from a title called My Chivalric Fiasco, which is about a character that works at a Renaissance park, theme park, and it's kind of futuristic, accidentally takes too much of a drug designed to get him in the right mindset and in character for his role as a knight. And he's got a crush on one of his co-workers, but his boss is a real asshole, as you will see. This is him after he has taken this drug. Normally his speech is relatively normal. Oh, that a woman of such enviable virtue had suffered so, would deign to speak to me in a manner so frank and direct, consenting by her words to keep her disgrace in such bleak confinement. Martha, Ted, you okay? To which I made reply, Verily, I have not been well, but distracted and remiss. But presently am restored unto myself, and hereby do make copious apology for my earlier neglect with respect to thee, dear lady. Martha, easy there, Ted. At this time Don Murray himself did step forward, and extending his hand placed it upon my breast, as if to restrain me. "Ted, I swear to God," quoth he, "put a sock in it, or I will flush you down the shitter so fast." It's pretty interesting. I think especially this collection of short stories is well suited to a unit maybe dealing with perspective and characterization, maybe about the ways that a character, their attributes might affect their speech. It's very interesting. I really recommend you all check it out, and I know I'm getting up here in the time, so I'm just going to cut this off right here. But thank you for watching my video, and I look forward to watching all of yours. Goodbye.